Howdy do y'all, this is John, and today we are talking about Young Washington, a new movie out in theaters right now. And then Young Washington deals with a very young George Washington. He is at the beginning of his military career, and not very long into it, the French and Indian War breaks out, and he ends up becoming, this kind of big figure in this conflict. Battles start to ensue, and Washington goes from being this young, naive, new military commander into the man that he would eventually become, the hero he would eventually become. And thus we have a movie. Now, to get things started, first and foremost, what I really liked about this movie. This film is entirely from George Washington's perspective, and specifically from when he's young. He's not this born leader yet that he will become when the American Revolution happens. He is a young, naive, new military commander. He makes a lot of mistakes, and it's mistakes that will eventually serve him well, because, he was smart enough to know to learn from your mistakes. The mistakes he makes during the French and Indian War end up being what would make him a good leader during the American Revolution. And I really like, how they handled that, how they portrayed George Washington. He's a good, well-meaning man, a bit of a victim of his time, but the mistakes he makes actually makes him stronger because he's smart enough to know to learn from them. When it comes to the visual element of the movie, there is some really dang good cinematography, and the film some shoddy VFX here and there, but thankfully there's not a lot. Dang good cinematography, really good, costume work. I'm serious, I really like the costume work. A lot of them, it starts off nice and clean, but then the battle ensues and they get all dirty. You start seeing bullet holes in some of them. It's good costume work. While the battles are not the main focus of the movie, the main focus is definitely George Washington and his character. When they do occur, they're also really good. This movie was directed by John Irwin. I know he doesn't have a lot of experience with battle, with combat, but you would think he's been making war movies a long time, because the combat in this movie is very intense. When people get shot, you feel that. When losses, when people are dropping, you feel that. When Washington loses a battle, you feel the weight of that. Definitely shows Irwin's experience as a director, even though, again, combat is not something he does have a lot of experience in. And I also have to give props to Kevin Kiner's musical score. Kiner, he is underrated in my opinion. And this is definitely one of those movies that, shows why I think he's underrated. There's this one moment where Washington loses two people really close to him within weeks, and he takes his anger out on a tree, hitting it with an axe. That music that they play when Washington's doing that, it helps the visuals with knowing, what is going on through Washington's mind. In terms of problems with the movie, there is an unnecessary romantic subplot in the film. I don't know why they put it in the movie. It literally adds nothing to the story. Even if it is true, it's not, Washington's future wife. It adds nothing. It doesn't increase the tension or anything like that. So why is he even in the movie? I don't know. But also there's other characters in the film that played an important role in George Washington's life. I believe his name is Thomas Fairfax. Dude was one of Washington's closest friends, and, Washington had to actually actively defend him during the Revolution because he was a loyalist. He was a loyalist. He didn't believe in breaking with the British crown, although he was at least open-minded enough to stay after we won. He was open-minded enough to stay and, just look how things were playing out. Except what happened. Like I said, Washington had to defend him big time because the two were friends. I'm just saying it would have been nice to see him and Fairfax and their friendship a lot more. So guys, at the end of the day, my final thoughts on Young Washington is this. Young Washington is a near perfect movie. It tells the story of young George Washington. It may not always get history right, but arguably what matters most is in this film. They did a great job portraying George Washington. Actor also did a good job too. I probably should have mentioned that. It's visually appealing despite some shoddy VFX work. Great battles, great music. There's not too many problems with the movie. There is enough to prevent it from, in my eyes, being a perfect movie though. But they came close. And that's really what matters most. I'm going to give Young Washington a 9. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And please don't forget I also have a secondary channel where I do gaming content. Please go check it out. As per usual, please remember, the Podetsky will return.